Hey all, so it's Harry Balzac here again, and for this information video I wanted to show you how to use Tournament Manager. In this video you'll be able to see how to activate all the additional leagues like the Turkish League, the Chinese Super League and so on. Also I will show you the difference between choosing Tournament Manager and also choosing the Career Manager options in Tournament Manager. So let's get into it, shall we? So first of all, let's open this up. Now the first things first is what you need to realize is that by default it comes with a career mode comp data. So when you play career mode you should find that that runs very smoothly and so on. Now when you activate the tournament mode comp data, what will happen is that even though in some cases the career mode will load, when you get to the second season it will not be able to link the competitions up correctly, and therefore it will cause a crash. So you always need to be aware that if you have the tournament mode comp data loaded you will not be able to play career mode, and if you have the career mode loaded then you won't be able to play these additional tournaments in that mode. So therefore the other option here is how to activate all leagues. Now by default, and I want to really stress this, by default you should always be playing with this option. Yes, even if you want to see these leagues in play, that's fine. Those leagues will still work. They will still be functioning leagues in career mode. However, you will not be able to play those leagues and you will not be able to join those leagues. So for example, if you were playing in the Premier League and you were then sacked and then you got offered by one of the teams, let's say in the Turkish Super League, what will happen is when you try to go to that team it will cause a crash. Now what you can do to make sure that that doesn't happen, you should select all leagues playable. But by selecting all leagues playable, the situation is that now you can play all of these leagues in the career mode competition. But the issue with that is the objectives have been removed and you will not be able to ask for additional funds, and it also is slightly less stable. Now many people may ask, well, why did you add this mode? Well, FIFA 14 has been out for a long time now, and I just decided after it being out for 6-7 years it was time to we can add these leagues, so let's just add them and then just make the mod as is. Now I personally do not play with many of these leagues, so it's not really a big issue to me, and that's why it wasn't a big problem. And trust me, even though you may have some issues by playing the all leagues playable version, once you get past that and understand how it works, the frustration will soon subside. Alright, so I'm going to show you how this works. So by default you've got original leagues playable. So let's start up a game here and I'm going to show you what options you have, and I'm also going to show you like a live crash and things like that, so you know what will happen when you try to play a certain mode. So we've got all leagues playable, that's the default option, so I'm not going to change anything yet. We're going to start up, I'm going to go into career mode and I'm going to choose a team from one of the leagues that isn't playable by default, and I'm going to show you two issues with these leagues as well. All right, so first of all, the first league that we're going to try is let me first load up a English league. So this is the English Premier League. We're just going to choose Arsenal by default. I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to add any European competitions or anything. I just want to show you that it loads. Welcome. So this is by default. These are the teams, and I'm going to show you what you should be seeing when you load up this career mode from the start, and I'm going to show you the differences between each version. So we've got this here now. When you go into your emails, you'll see here you get objectives. So domestic cup objective, love a run in the cup, and it would like us to win the cup, and then also the league objective here, which is to qualify for the Champions League. And this is all normal. And then under my career you will see that you've joined a club, and it will tell you what your objectives are and so on. And also if you go into the objectives you'll be able to see that your objectives are all here. Now this is very pivotal. In this version, you want to always use this version for any clubs that are in as default available in FIFA 14. It's important that you understand that that's it. Now what we want to do is we want to switch it so that we can play one of the other leagues. Now first of all, I'm just going to choose a new career, and this time I'm going to choose a league that isn't available by default. So I'm going to go to Greece, and we're just going to choose Athens here, and I'm not going to activate the Champions League because I want to show you that afterwards. So we're just going to go ahead and just show you that this works. Welcome. And I'll explain why I haven't activated Champions League after this video. Now you see there, it crashed. Now the reason it crashed is because in Tournament Manager the mode had not been selected. And if you read here, the extra leagues are the Chinese Super League, the Czech Republic First League or the Fortuna Liga, Germany Third League, the Greece Super League, Japan, the Romania Leagues and the Turkish League. So to make it possible to play, we're going to go to all leagues playable and click apply. And settings changed and OK. So now you go back into the video and we'll start up the game again. Okay, so it'll take a few moments to load, but it shouldn't be too slow. Okay, so now click on play, and we go to new career, manage your career. Now this time we're going to choose Greece. We're going to choose AEK even. Athens again. Choose that. Now again, I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to choose this team. And now what you should see is that this league loads without any crash this time. But once it does load, I will show you the differences and the issues that you will face. Okay, so now you can see that it loads with no problems. And if you go to the office, you will see that the league objectives is there, and it will tell you. Now in English I've changed it to consolidate league position, but in your language it will say something different, something along the lines of CM league objective -1. And this is the issue. Now the problem that you have when you're playing games, they may try to fire you early, and the reason they do this is because the career doesn't understand that you are actually in charge of the club. You've got no objectives or anything like that, so it doesn't know how to differentiate where your progress is, where you are in the league, if you are actually hitting these objectives. And you see there's no objectives here, so what can happen is you can often get an email that says something along the lines of you are fired and so on. Now I've done my best to remove this option, and I must admit I've been testing this massively and I have yet to been sacked. So it is I can only conclude now that it's a random thing that you can be sacked by playing this mode. So all you can do there is, if you are sacked, just reload by clicking on continue manager career, and you will be able to go back and continue your career after losing your job. So there you go. So I hope that helps. Now let's move into the tournament mode. Right, so that's now back to normal. I'm just going to put this back to normal. This is not really important. I'm just doing that so I don't forget later on. And I'm now going to show you how tournament mode works. So in tournament mode, we'll start up the game. I should have done this already. And I'm going to quickly show you how this works. So wait for this logo to move. So as you can see here, you have some options here: tournament mode, comp data, and you've got Argentina, Japan, Netherlands and Russia. Now the structure for this tournament mode to work, you have to have the competitions under the countries, and the reason why is because without those competitions under the countries, there's no way for them to show in tournament mode. There's nowhere that they have to be under a country. There's no separate place to put them, unfortunately, and for some reason these 4 countries seem to work with these particular tournaments. It's very strange. FIFA 14 is very, very difficult to mod in terms of stability. So the first mode that I'm going to show you is, I'm just going to go to Netherlands to show you what Netherlands looks like when you do not have tournament mode activated, and I'm also going to show you what it's like to play in the Champions League using these new options. So here we go. So under Netherlands, you've just got the cup and also the league format, and that's there by default. However, if you go to Tournament Manager here, you'll see under Netherlands you can activate European Championship, Champions League and so on. I'm going to activate UEFA Champions League here, and I want to play the full qualifying rounds, and all I need to do here is install tournament mode and click OK. Now you don't need to regenerate now, it will be available straight away because these files do not affect the database. So we're going to go into a new tournament, and let's go back to Netherlands and show you the difference now. Excuse me. Takes a little while, but we'll get there. So you can see there we've still got the League and the Cup, but now we've also got the European Championships, the Super Cup, the UEFA Champions League and Europa League, all available to play. If you look in Tournament Manager, you will also see under the different countries, you'll have Argentina, for example, is the Copa America and Copa Libertadores. Japan is the FIFA Club World Cup. Netherlands, I've just shown you here, and then Russia is the FIFA World Cup. So let's go into the Champions League and show you, well, let's just have a quick load up and show you what's possible. So as you can see here, these are all of the teams that you can play as in the Champions League in tournament mode. And I'm going to show you Lincoln Red Imps, who started in the preliminary rounds, and they obviously didn't make it into the Champions League proper, but if you wanted to play with them you could. So we have their teams, we've got all of their kits and everything. So here we go, we start off in the preliminary rounds. You play then basically the semi-finals, and then after, or the final really, then you go into qualifying round one, there's a second qualifying, a third qualifying round, then the playoff round, then you enter into the group stages, then the round of 16, the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and then finally the finals. So if you can do that with the Lincoln Red Imps, I applaud you. Anyway, that's that for now, for showing you how the Tournament Manager works. Of course, if I try to play in the career mode now, because tournament mode is actually activated, it will cause a crash in the second season. When it tries to load up the Champions League and all of those fixtures, it will not be able to do it. So always remember, when you're finished playing with tournament mode, go back here and install the career mode comp data, and you'll be able to play career mode. You can change this on the fly, but of course do not change it whilst you're playing either in tournament mode or in career mode, because that of course will mess up your game. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like it, share it, and do all of that stuff please, and I will be back with a video very soon on doing a boot preview actually, and I'm really very much looking forward